I'm Graham Nicholson. I was born in Warwick 68 years ago, about 200 years after the William Bull trumpet entered the museum in Warwick. So one of the reasons why I'm making this trumpet is because it just happens to be one of the two remaining trumpets by the best English maker of the period of Purcell. And this instrument combines, in a sense, calligraphy and music and making instruments in silver or brass. You could essentially make the instrument in silver or in brass or in German silver or in copper, which William Bull actually did. So this instrument was made around 1700. Bull died in 1714. Purcell died in 1695. So this instrument is from the same period as Purcell. And at that time, William Bull was the sergeant trumpeter to the royal household and in London, and Purcell was the Kapellmeister, the music master of the Chapel Royal. He'd been there since he was a boy, and he died, I think he was 36 when he died. He was very young. And yeah, so this is the kind of trumpet that they used in this period. It's just tubes, essentially. It's just made of tubes, and in order to make it sort of easier to carry, they bend two of the tubes so that it bends back on itself. This was the trumpet for about 400 years, and then in 1815 or so they developed valves, which of course everybody nowadays is familiar with. The thing about this trumpet is that it makes a kind of sound which is not similar, not dissimilar, but it's quite different to a modern trumpet player, to a modern trumpet. And the instrument itself is, as you can see, without valves. It's very simple, and it can be extended or made shorter by adding what we call crooks at this end. They can be long ones or short ones. The instrument itself is made in silver and it's highly decorated. This aspect of it took only a day and a half to make. You start off with, the measurements from the original, and then you make this template, and from that, with a tooth seam, the thing is beaten over steel form and spun and polished, and you end up with this. The tubes themselves are made just as you would, you take a piece of metal, you fold it and you seam it with a slightly lower alloy of silver with a little bit more zinc in it, and it's very easy. Silver is an extremely beautiful and easy material to work. However, the difficulty with this instrument is the development of the level of ornamentation. The end of the trumpet, the end of the bell, is almost as sharp as a razor blade. It's 0.3 of a millimeter. So in order to protect it, because this is easily bendable, they invented a system which is called a garland, which in a way is the soul of the instrument. It's where the thing is identified with the maker's name, and the ornamentation which our society now so avoids. So this trumpet is then decorated with acanthus leaves and a circular design, and with a steel wire to protect the end of the garland. This is then made, an impression is made in dental material, and then at home I then, from the dental material, make a positive, as it were. This is then a negative from the instrument, and this is then the positive that I make in order to see with a magnifying glass how the original was made. And it involves a lot of Sherlock Holmes kind of, a lot of technique and a lot of speculation and weeks of looking at it, and eventually you understand how it was done. And you can see through the imperfections, you can see the techniques and how good and how bad they were. So this instrument has taken a lot of research to understand how it's made, and but this pattern that was laid down by William Bull stayed essentially for 200 years. And it became the standard model, as it were, for 200 years, which is why I was interested in understanding how it worked.